All right. Hi, Dave. Dave is here bright and fresh and early. Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, Dave. Get it out. Go ahead. Uh, oh, wait, hold on a second. That's not what I wanted to do. Here we go. So, yes, the Leafs are still in first place. Isn't that right? I hope it goes well for you against the Bruins. That's all I can say because I don't think Leaf fans would survive another fallout to the Bruins. I think that's pretty but most people you guys don't think the Bruins will make it. Might be right. So we got the Flyers tonight. Flyers are right there. Panthers might lose to the Flyers on purpose just so that, well, no. No, we would want to beat the Flyers to increase the odds of Toronto getting the Bruins. Yeah. All right, let's go. Yeah, Bruins are somehow creeping back in. I mean, they're so out of place with a negative 13 goal differential, but they've won 3 in a row, and the standings are so tight everywhere you look. I mean, you've seen it, with the Panthers. It only takes a couple games here, a couple games there, right? I still can't get over the Metro. Rangers are in playoff position to 27 points. The Islanders are in last place with 25 points. I mean, it's just basically everybody except the Canadians and the Senators, really. Basically, and that's, I know it's only a couple of points, but everybody's just kind of doing the same dance. Nobody's really tanking. Nobody's really taking off with anything. Let's go says Cats might break the Bruins again in January. They're coming back to life only for reality to come smack them again. Dave says the Bruins are that team you want someone else to beat up, right? Yeah, well, Swayman will have something to prove, right? He definitely will have something to prove come postseason. And, so will Shesterkin too, right? Turned down, what was it? He turned down like 11 million, right? That's cojones. That takes a lot of juice to turn down that kind of money. You got to be real sure of yourself. And of course, now it doesn't seem to be working out for the Rangers at all. So it'll be interesting to see how that. I know we've heard about how the Rangers might be willing to sell, but hey, Incorrigible says, hey, Jaws, hope the Cats win today. Oh, no. The family dog passed away last night after having degenerative myelopathy since early August. Go Cats, go rip Petey. I miss you, all right. I'm sorry, man. That's what got Fluffy in the end, brother. That's what got it was the congestive heart failure, but it was the low circulation because of that. The the degenerative myopathy. That's what got him in the last couple of weeks, where he just lost control of all of his limbs. So I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's tough because they're mentally still there. You know what I mean? They're mentally still there, and they just can't move anymore. That's rough, man. You absolutely have my condolences. Dave says, so I was watching Panthers highlights. Do you guys have brothers playing together on our team? Yeah, the Boquist. Jesper Boquist is a third line, fourth line forward, and Adam Boquist is one of the defensemen that we brought in to take the place of OEL or Montour. But Jesper, I like. Adam he's not bad. You can win games with him, but you're not going to win a cup. You're not going to win a cup unless we shore up the defense a little bit. I says we got a lot of players in the Four Nations. I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I wanted them all to just go home and take a nice break, relax, come back with fresh legs, And instead, they're all going to be playing. I mean, it's a good size list. It's a good size list of players. So unfortunately, I know the league likes to do these things, and I guess you can't really do it during the off season because that's when everybody has to recover and all of that. So I get it, but Olechka says the Four Nations is all Florida from staff to roster. Yeah, it's. I know they're going to be excited for doing it. I know they're going to be excited. I says I'm glad Ekblad gets to rest. Yeah, but I mean Forsling. I think I saw Reinhart and Bennett, right? Kachuk. Who else? There might be a few more. But we got a few. We got more than Bob. Bob gets rest too. Yeah, Lundell. That's right. Lundell, Luosterainen. Yeah. Frank says they're sick of Florida being the state of hockey. Cordial says, I appreciate this channel so much. Go Cats, go for all the doggos that were here for us. Yeah, man, I've been having a rough time with the dogs the last few days. Like hitting me again. It's weird. So I can definitely feel that for you, man. It's eventually there'll be more dogs, but I know for me it's like when I'm ready to commit again, it's not just one dog, it's three. Because I've experienced enough to know that you get three, and then when one passes, you got two, and you get a third before the second one passes, because then you end up with only one, and then they get so lonely that you see what happens. Dave says, I hear about the Nations Cup. If the Leaf players come back all banged up when they're playing. Yeah, right. That's I don't even want to think about that. But it's true. Mikula as well. Tomato says Reinhart, Bennett, Barkov, Lundell, Mikula, Luosterainen, Chucky, Forsling, and some crew. Cito and the God. That's like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, that's half the team. Right? 12 and 6 is 18. It's half the team. It's literally half the team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8. It's just about half the team. I counted the crew, right? Yeah, you're not wrong, Olechka, right? Jeez. Well, at least Bobrovsky gets to rest. That is important. Although for him, he'll be on the ice practicing, right? So. Oh, hey Trey, how you doing, bud? Yeah, Trey's got some information for us. Cordial says we lost out big time between the Lion, OEL, and Stolars. Well, they weren't trades. We lost them. We did not get anything back for any of those people, unfortunately. Losing OEL and Montour was too much. We need one back. Come on, Dave, give us back OEL. Huh? JC says you got some trivia giveaways for the playoffs. Luongo CHL auto card, Ovis Balinskis Young Guns card, no auto, and a few other things. Are you saying you're sending something my way, JC? Is that what you're saying? Or are you reminding me of something that you already sent, or are you reminding me of something that I have in my eBay store? Frank says, now who would I be cheering for? You mean what? Did the Panthers lose? If the Panthers lose in the first round, if we lose in the first round, like I said, I'm rooting for the Leafs so that they can get it out of their system, win their cup. Dave, come on, man. No tape that. Oh, and the Four Nations. Oh, good point. I mean, I guess I would root for the United States because I'm from the United States, but I wouldn't mind seeing Finland win, right? I mean, we got to be half their team, right? Good grief. Trey says there's a panic thread on Reddit asking if you trust Spencer in a playoff game, just telling on themselves for being new around here. Right? Right. Hello. Hello. I think the answer to that is yes. I think the answer to that is clearly yes. If we had gotten any kind of goal support in game 6, he would have at least gotten us to game 7. Right? He held out as long as he could. Yeah, I think we trust Spencer Knight in a playoff game. That's funny. Okay, I appreciate that, JC. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Vincent says, "What? The Leafs must stay a joke." If we're not going to win, well, let's reverse engineer that, Vincent. If the Panthers get eliminated in the first round, the next thing you have to start thinking about is what benefits the Panthers. What benefits the Panthers? If the Leafs win and get it out of their system, that benefits the Panthers. I'm not worried about Boston. I mean, you kind of really don't want Tampa getting the idea they could win away. Vincent says Sharks all the way. Oh, come on now. Oleshka says, I actually hope Tampa makes it. I mean, I guess there's that point, like to keep it in the state of Florida, right? That would kind of annoy most of the fan bases. Whoa, happened to my camera. Hold on a second. My camera just, oh, don't do that. Hold on a second. That's it's weird. Try this again. It should be good. That's weird. That's all. I mean, you see my hands are here. The laptop is doing that by itself. Jaw's falling apart like his team. That's so weird. All right, so hopefully everything is okay. Well, that's never happened before. Not like that. First, the camera must be Rosado. Rosado must have hacked the stream. We'll blame it on him. JC. Really, my hands are here. You would know. I have to reach to adjust anything. That was strange. All right. We'll just no defense on the tech support, right? We'll just blame Rosado. Yeah, Leaf fans took the mic and dropped, right? I don't know. I mean, we got like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts outside. I don't know how that would have any effect on the laptop, but that was strange. That was all right. And it's warm enough in here, so my little doohickey that things are plugged into shouldn't be giving me any problem. JC says, don't lie. You don't have to reach for that thing more than Damn, JC is on fire this year. Who pissed you off over the summer, JC? Huh? Who pissed you off over the summer? Don't blame me, Fluffy Dies. Not my fault. You don't have to be all angry about it. You're in a whiteout? Yeah. It had been below freezing for multiple days, but then it's warmed up now to it's 38, so it didn't snow. It rained earlier. Panthers memorabilia pricing increases. I gotcha. Yeah, so Jessica chucking around says, what do I think about the trade rumors on the D line? Well, I mean, I think even a blind squirrel could tell we need a defenseman, right? So, I mean, because even in Maurice is just rotating which guy is going to be next to Mikula. Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Frank, buddy says, I hear Elias Pettersson could be traded from Vancouver. That would benefit the Panthers. It's all about what we got to give up, right? If I even hear the name start Matt, if I even hear Mac, I just click. Like if you wake up one day and the channel is deleted, it's because Sam Miskevich got traded for a defenseman. He says, I have to choose between buying jerseys or being married. So far leaning for the jerseys only because they don't talk back. Hey, look, it happens, right? Be aware of what you're putting first. Well, here's how you do it for JC. You were a fan of the team before you got married, right? So technically that means the team can come first. I'm just saying that's the way it should be. Traces Mackey for Macklin. No, the jerseys hold their value. Oh my God. JC, you are going to get yourself in all sorts of trouble, man. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Kachuk says, I was going to go scorched earth when I heard Huberdeau got traded, right? Meadow says, if I had no choice but to trade a guy in the top 6 for a top defenseman, who would it be? In the top 6? I mean, if you're telling me I had no choice, it would be Rodriguez. I mean, Barkov for Hagee, Rodriguez, Kachuk, Bennett for Hagee. If you're saying out of those 6, I would have to lose one, it would have to be Rodriguez. Not that I want to lose Rodriguez, but you've made me trade somebody. Vincent is saying if St. Martin playing next year, Erod is probably going, not Mackey. But on D, we need 2 solid guys. JC says technically yes, but the miss was the Panthers' ice dancer, so I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, I mean, if she was an ice dancer, I'm going to leave my smart-ass comments to myself. What are you complaining about? Do you believe this guy? The guy is married to a former Panthers ice dancer, and he's complaining. Just take the good with the bad, man. Just take the good with the bad. All right? She could... What Trey say? If you get rid of the jerseys, money comes in. Get rid of the wife, money goes out. That's true. That's true. That is true. 58 says, I agree with Jaw's comments. He's keeping to himself. JC, it's called buy some flowers. Jessica Chuckin says, Swaggy doesn't have trade protection until next year. No, we can't lose Swaggy. I don't want to lose any of those guys. I don't think it would be a top 6 player. I don't know who it would be. There's nobody, I mean, just nobody with enough cap space. The only 2 guys, well, I don't want to say that. I mean, Bennett, I'm not saying I want to do it. That's too much. Bennett, we should be able to re-sign. I don't know. We're in a sticky position. We really are. We really, really are. Jessica Chuckin says we might not keep Benny anyway, though. I mean, and that's where Zito has to figure it out, right? That's what Zito has to figure out. If Zito already has figured out I can't keep Bennett and Ekblad or don't want to keep both, it's so hard, man, because you can fix the defense, but if you subtract Bennett, I love Lundell, but I don't know if we're winning a cup with Barkov, Lundell. What are you going to do? You can put Boquist at 3C, Luosterainen. You lose too much doing that. But on the flip side of that, when you look to the future, you can't get rid of a guy like Mackey. Could Mackey fill in for Rodriguez? No, because I just don't. He's not physically ready to do that. JC says we deserve to keep Bennett. Right. Vincent says Bennett is more important than Verhaeghe. It's not even close. I don't disagree. I don't disagree for the way. I mean, we need them both. Right? I mean, when Verhaeghe is on, he's so clutch. I know we have Reinhardt. That's a tough call. Trey says the choice is Bennett over Ekblad every single time. The only arguments for Ekblad is sentimental value and the fact that he's right-handed. And also if you move Ekblad to get a guy, you still need a guy. You know what I mean? I don't think we're going to get two defensemen for Ekblad. And that's the thing. If you move him for a guy to go next to Forsling, you still need a guy to go next to Mikkola. I says, do we know what the cap will be next year? Somebody will know. I know it's supposed to go up. I know it's going to go up. How much? I think it went up like $4 million this year. Kachukin says we need to rebuild Eki in the aggregate. Yeah, like Moneyball, right? Supposed to be 92.5. JC says we should have kept the lug big kid. Yeah, we waived him and lost him. We waived him and lost him, right? Is he still with Pittsburgh? I agree with you, 58. Verhaeghe isn't just offense, though. He does some good work on the other end as well. Now, we're going to have to do it. You're going to have to give up a Sordif, a Sachin, another first, right? I mean, there's nothing else to give up. And you're going to have to overpay if you're going to get somebody to hold on to the salary. But I think you do it because how many chances are you going to have to win a second cup in a row? I mean, I suppose you could roll the dice and then, reinvest next year when you let Ekblad walk. Hey, Jameson, yeah, we were talking about that. We've got 8 players, almost half the team. It's crazy. Vincent. Verhaeghe is the worst defensive player on the team. But I don't know, man. I mean, I watch and bitch about every single goal, and I can't remember calling a goal where I said, well, that was because Verhaeghe lost his man or Verhaeghe didn't get back in time. He may not go digging in the corners the way some of these other guys do, but I've seen Jesper Boquist get boxed out of the crease twice in the last couple of weeks and give up a goal. I ain't seen Verhaeghe. I do not remember calling a goal where I blame Verhaeghe. I've seen it blaming Boquist. I've seen it blaming Tkachuk, right? I love Reinhardt, but he has a tendency to float around a little bit too much. Now, maybe it's because Verhaeghe hasn't come back to the other end of the ice. I mean, it could be that. It could be that. Trey says, I'm not saying get rid of Verhaeghe, but we do kind of have a Verhaeghe replacement already on the team. Don't have a Bennett or an Ekblad clone. Right. No, Zito's going. I don't know what he's going to do. But the only offensive player that we have that's somewhat expendable, that has any cap value at all, is Rodriguez. I'm not saying I would want to do it, But I mean, if you did move Verhage, who you putting in his spot? Are you going to move Kachuk to the left and put Samoskevich on the right? Bennett, Kachuk, Rodriguez, Barkov, Reinhardt. Who? If Rodriguez, if you get rid of Swaggy, Mackey, Boquist, you see him. You got so many right-handers. Somebody would have to play offside. Trey says Mackey could step into Verhage's spot. Well, do you want that? But that's what I'm saying about the righty-lefty thing is, do you want Mackey switching sides like that? Hey, Dave, thank you, buddy. Thank you, Dave. Metal says Tippett. Thank you, Dave. So Leafs fans are watching, looking at you, Trey. I dig Trey. He makes being a hockey fan fun. Yeah, Trey's a good guy. Trey is the star of the show, right, Trey? Hey, Metal. Tippett. I didn't say it. You did, though. Trey says, playing off and on the wing is awesome. You open for one-timers all day. Exactly. Eyes wants to know, the real issue is, how does this affect our efforts to get back Owen Tippett? Can he play defense? He's kind of big enough to play defense. Does Philadelphia have any defensemen that are worthwhile? Right? Does Philadelphia have any defensemen that are worthwhile? Then you go Swaggy and Sordiff for Tippett and the defenseman. Huh? I says, let's trade for for Matheson. Travis Sanheim, Frank is saying. 58 says no. I mean, it would, I'm just trying to, yeah. Kachucking around says, technically we're still paying Yandel. Lace him up. Jeez. No, they're not. Balinskis and Schmidt and Boquist aren't that bad. They're not that bad. I wonder if Balinskis is hurt a little bit. He looks so good to start the season, and then he really kind of worn down a little bit. Right? Well, we'll see. Zito, he's just in a bind, man. He's absolutely in a bind. Erickson says Sanheim is young and decent. So Sordiff, what did I say? Sordiff and what? Sordiff and Verhage for Tippett and Sanheim. I don't know. I says we should have a jersey retirement ceremony for Yandel. He went to the Flyers after he left here, right? Frank says Balinskis gets beat a lot on defense draws when he was paired with Schmidt was awful. Yeah, no, I know. It was bad the last couple of weeks. 58 says y'all are on some wake and bake. Kachukin says we have players that have been cultivated and have trade equity. We also have a destination team. Zito has what he needs to trade, and Zito we trust. Agreed. Okay, Vince, this is what Vincent is saying. Maurice tried to put Balinskis on the right side. Didn't look good, so he's just the left side player. Gotcha. Okay. Josh should have a celebration stream for when we finally stop paying Yandel. Jay says, I'm a righty that played wing. When they put me on right wing, I was a rat. On left wing, I was a scorer. Interesting. All right, so I don't think we want to. I mean, we just signed him to that extension, though. We'll see. It's. I hope we don't wake up to some just not Samoskevich, man. Right? We'll give him two of the guys, like Balinskis and Schmidt for the one good defenseman. Frank says the only defense I would trade for is Anderson from Calgary, and his cap is only 4.5 for 2 years. You really think Calgary would even pick up the phone if Bill called at this point? Right? I'm sure they got his number blocked, man. Probably. I says we may still be paying for Yandel, but the Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla until 2035. I remember when that happened. That was crazy. I wish somebody would give me $1 million, right? Vincent says Ekblad traded morning 10th anniversary party. I can't imagine that he would do it in the middle of a season. I just have a hard time believing that. Because, I mean, the other part to that is we're looking for a defenseman. So what team is going to have a defenseman that we would want? Like, it would almost have to be like some kind of three-way deal. Trey says, my boy Connor Murphy picked up 2 assists last night. Make the call, Zito. I wonder who he's calling on. It won't be long. It's become obvious. I mean, Schmidt's been okay. Schmidt's been all right, but OEL and Montour were good, man. We I don't want to say we kind of took them for granted, but we had an abundance of talent at that point. Bell says other problem is picks. We can't really trade away picks because we don't have any. That's true. And that's let me look at that because that is true. Florida Panther draft picks. Let's see. That's the list. I don't want the draft history. Okay, let's see. No, that's not what I want. Come on, give me what I want. Okay, here we go. That's 2025. There's no boy, this is a terrible website. We don't even have, do we not even have a second? Yeah, I'm looking at a website that is not very, you can't tell what you need to tell from it. Puckpedia has the picks. Okay. I'm learning how to use it on my phone, which is it's not very user-friendly. Okay, that's easy. Now I just wish I had my glasses in here. All right, so we don't have a we have a first. We don't have a first. Jeez. We don't have a first, second, or third round pick this year. We don't have. So then next year we have a first and a second and no third. And then 2027, we've got a full slate. We've got 2 fourths and 2 fifths, which, I mean, could we even trade that for a second? Vincent says Ottawa has Jensen. Maybe he's an obvious addition at 34 years old, but that's not the main trade. We need more. Right. Yeah. Yeah, the draft. We don't have any. I mean, it's bad. That's pretty bad. So we don't have the first because of the Tkachuk trade. We traded away our second and acquired a 2024 second from the Maple Leafs for a 2025 second and a 24. So we traded it away to the Maple Leafs for a second next year. The third that we don't have this year is from Tarasenko. We're going to run out of assets. Nice, Dave. Fun. Maybe we'll trade you the bobblehead. Frank says that's the price you pay to win a cup, Jaws. I'm totally fine with it. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Adonis wants to know what I think will happen with Igor. I can't imagine that they're going to let him go. He was stupid. He should have taken the $11 million. I mean, if they blow it up, we're not going to get him, right? What would be funny? What would be funny is if there was enough animosity created by Swayman in Boston where they did a swap. Swayman for Shesterkin. Like, I'm just making stuff up in my head, and it wouldn't be a 1-for-1 deal. But like, if they ever did move on from him, I'm sure that they would send him to the Western Conference anyway. Right? Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. He says Bill knew what he was doing. This draft sucks. Right. Donna says someone will give him whatever Igor wants. Teams will be desperate for him. Yeah. Shish kebab. Shish kebab. Oh, that's a new one. Thank you again, Frank. Trey says Cody Cece's on an expiring contract. You think the Sharks really have long-term plans with him, right? Oh, so Vincent says Igor's going to Chicago if the Rangers won't figure out this mess. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, they would send him to the West, right? Yeah. I mean, the Rangers they're not, it's not like they're terrible. They've had a bad start to the season, but they were in the Eastern Conference. Boy, every team that plays us, you know how lucky we are? Like, we broke Boston, we broke the Canes, we broke the Rangers. We didn't break the Leafs. Vegas tried to break us. Oh, not Darnell Nurse. Oh, no, I wasn't impressed with Nurse. Dave. Oh, my God. Kachukin says Trouba, maybe his wife got matched for her fellowship. I brought up Trouba on the show last week, and it was a unanimous no for Trouba. So it's kind of like Trouba's already here, right? Taylor, yeah, eight players. Just about half the team is going to be playing. So the only good thing about that is that the fans of teams that hate us will have to root for Panther players if they're rooting especially for Finland. Sybil says, off the top of my head, what would be the worst trade you could think Zito realistically making? The worst. That's a oxymoron. The worst trade that I could see him making. I can't see. Well, he did trade a first and Tippett for, but I won't get into that. So he has made some questionable moves in the past. Like the first for Sherratt was just like, here, let me just throw this in the garbage can. I don't need it. Which in reality, I mean, none of the first round picks can hardly get on the ice anyway, other than Sam Miskevich. So I don't know. How bad is Gabranson these days? Would a Mikkola Gabranson, would that be? We need. I mean, OEL and Montour. We need one back. Just give us back OEL. No, Samuel was a first. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm misremembering. I think he was 22nd or something. 24th. He was 24th overall. He was 24th overall. So yeah, he was a first. Mackie for Hubert. No. No. How old is Barkov's baby? That I don't know. I don't know. No, Mac, he was late first. He was 24th overall pick. Donna says, I could see Zito trading for a backup with a first rounder if he was bad at managing, right? Vincent says, Sherrod was weird. He eyed him since November and outbid everybody to get him unreasonable. Yeah, we were just, I think Zito just got so excited that we were like, in quotes, the team to beat on paper. I think he just figured if he just went for it and threw as much as he could at the wall, that it would guarantee success. But the goaltending just wasn't there. I mean, the goaltending against Tampa just wasn't there. And the goaltending for Tampa was. Right? Silva says Sordiff was a third rounder. So, yeah. I don't know. It's a shame the guy, Bornfoot, the kid we picked up off waivers last year, I really kind of had hopes for him because it seemed like another Forsling story. Big Swedish dude was a first-round pick, not that Forsling was, but just on waivers, just floating out there. But he's not even getting on the ice in the AHL. So somebody must have seriously overvalued him to take him where they did in the first round. Oh, geez. Hornquist is named assistant coach for Team Sweden. Nice. Frank says, Zito has always said that if something falls on his lap that he can't refuse and it makes sense, he'll do it. Well, that's how we got Chucky, right? Right? I mean, we're all just sitting around wondering if Huberdeau Kachuk, or if Huberdeau Barkov, if that duo was going to be the duo. We're all sitting there wondering after the Tampa series. And then Kachuk's like, I'll go. I want to go to Florida. I mean, basically, it's what he said. Chucky to the Leafs for Matthews. Adonis says, I saw Sordiff at his first NHL game at New Jersey. He actually looked fast and physical, but not a ton of offensive skill. Yeah, he'd be a good player, right? On another team, he might have made the lineup and been able to get some fourth line minutes. I don't know how much upside's there. You know, that's the thing, is that if you're if you're another team, you know the first word out of their mouth is going to be Mackey and. Right? Nobody's pounding down the door for Sordiff. Maybe not even Sachin. But now the teams are getting a glimpse of what Mackey could be. You know they're going to be like, hey, Bill. And it just better be like, click. No. Vincent says, renting in for Kachuk. Yeah, just like it's Joe Robbie Stadium. It'll never not be Joe Robbie Stadium. Frank says, I have a feeling Igor might end up in Fort Lauderdale Beach next year. Russians love Florida. I just don't know if it would help. Like, you'd have to clear this. The only way to get Igor is literally Ekblad and Knight. But that still leaves you with, now you got two holes on defense. As much as we give Ekblad grief, we don't have anybody that's going to replace him. So Ekblad, Knight for Igor and Trouba. Well, where are you putting Trouba? Are we any better? Without, you see what I mean? It doesn't work. What we need is somebody to we needed another team to be stupid. That's what we need. Adonis. Spencer Knight for Jonas Johansson. We just need another team to be stupid. Right? We need one other team that, well, no, it doesn't work that way either. Silver says Bornfoot still has time to improve, although I highly doubt he's another Forsling. Forsling was a 1 in a million opportunity that stumbled straight into the arms right of Zito, I think is what you're trying to say. But Kachuk and one more for Corpusalo and Chabot. Yikes. No, we're good. We're good. Spencer Knight's going to be fine. I'm not worried about that. But I kind of thought that the defensive system was such that all we needed was some stable, reliable defensemen. The Schmidt's not been bad. I think a bottom pair of Kulikov and Schmidt, I think we can win with that. I think we can win with that. But I don't know what Michael say stupid is the Rangers' middle name. But we just need that guy next to Mikkola. But we need that guy. Hey, Dave. How about Spencer Knight for Stolars and OEL back? How about that? Huh? Come on. We can't afford. Well, we could afford that, right? Spencer Knight for Stolars and OEL. What'd you guys pay OEL? Dave says, just give us Chucky. He wants to come over. We ask him for his thoughts about. No, you can't have him after the season. After we win the second cup, just send us. You guys send OEL first, and we promise to send you Chucky next year. How about that? Send the OEL now for future considerations. All right. And then after we win our second cup, then we'll send Chucky over there. Okay. And if you believe that. Hey, Derek, how you doing, buddy? Trey says, unfortunately for us, the dumbest front office in the league is in our division. Is not how this is going to work. Come on. Yeah, we'll send a Chuck doll. We'll send you a Chucky doll. I'll send you a bell. Damn it. Well, Montour's on the Kraken, right? Are they looking like are the Kraken looking like they be buyers or sellers? It's on the Kraken, right? Yeah, in the future, I'll consider it. Exactly. Kraken suck. They ain't making the playoffs. 1, 2, 3, 30, 1, 2, 3. I mean, they're 3 points out of the 8th seed. Come on, send us Montour back. What do they need? Huh? That's the problem, isn't it? What we don't have, we don't have anything to give. We don't have anything to give that won't stop us from winning a cup if we give it to improve the defense. Like Erod for a defenseman. Who's replacing Erod? Boquist? No. Right? We don't even have anybody really that can replace Erod. Vincent is saying, but you've noticed yourself they cannot win without effort. Why? Because not enough talent. And maybe you haven't noticed this year they try to rush game a lot. Doesn't work both ways for them. Defense can't. Right. The defense can't support that game. That's really a good point. Well, that's OEL and Montour. Yeah. No, that's really a good point, Vincent. That's the cause and effect of the whole thing. All this, that's why I say they're not going to get rid of Spencer Knight, because we could have kept one of OEL or Montour if we were just going to move on from Spencer Knight. But you gotta think long term. I still think Zito felt Schmidt could replace one of those two guys. I think how OEL came in and raised his level of play. I think that Zito felt Schmidt would come in and raise his level of play. Now, Schmidt has proven if he could just be a stay-at-home 6-7D on the bottom pair, I think we're okay with that. But Kulikov Schmidt is kind of like Kulikov. You know what I mean? There's just not enough juice there. And you see Mikula trying to take some offensive chances, but if he's got to cover for Balinskis, Boquist, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. But when you look at the forward group, the only guy with any salary that we could even remotely close to consider expendable, in my opinion, is Rodriguez. What Trey is saying about moving Swaggy, putting Mackey up there, I mean, it's Verhaeghe in overtime. I'm not so sure that Mackey is just ready to be like Mr. Clutch. He's doing well for a rookie. And maybe next year, but you don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul and you lose the cup because you robbed Peter. It don't. We may as well just gut it out and try to add some kind of piece that we can to the defense and hope, right? Hope that Bob goes Super Saiyan mode. Good chucking around says we can win a regulation if we get rid of Swaggy, right? JC says Jarvis for Schmidt and Sordiv. But it still leaves us with a hole. I mean, we need one or two guys with Schmidt. That's the thing. Trey says, I mean, I made a great point to say I wouldn't be getting rid of Verhaeghe. I even used Lundell and Barkov as an example. Just because we have Lundell doesn't mean I want to trade Barkov. Right. No, I wasn't saying you made the point. I mean, I said you made the point, but you were throwing it out there as conjecture. All right. Don't get like the girlfriend now. You know what I was saying. Huh? Don't feign ignorance. You know what I meant. JC thinks we should not move Balinskis because he's going to develop into a really solid player. I don't disagree. I've liked him up until the last few weeks. But, business is business, right? Silva says, Rodriguez, you can't move. You can't move Benny or Swaggy. You can't move Mouthwash or Boquist. And there's no way Sam Miskevich gets moved and Zito stays alive. That's a good point. Now, YouTube, it's a joke. YouTube, okay? Don't ban anybody. All right? Balinskis is 28. No, that's a point. That's a point. I wonder if he's hurt. I still say he looks so good to start the season. Jay says between Bennett, Ekblad, Verhaeghe would be the easiest to replace, but my choice is still Ekblad. Right. Michael says Schmidt will be better soon enough. Every post-game interview, he keeps saying how he's a fanboy on the ice and forgets he needs to get up and in the play and help. He will get used to it. Huh. Yeah, Balinskis is near his peak. Yeah. Vincent says we only have Sordiff, Ekblad, Knight, and picks as trade elements. It would be so stupid to have kept Knight, to lose OEL and Montour, to trade Knight to replace OEL or Montour, and then lost Stolars because we kept Knight. It just sounds like you're not wrong, Vincent, but you'd have to get there would have to be like a three-way deal where we're getting like two defensemen if you're going to move on from Knight. And we need a backup goalie. I'm not going to the playoffs with Chris Drieger. No. Even when he was good for us, we put him in the playoffs and he wasn't good. Hey, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. He says, men's health is important. Good health starts with you. Thanks for coming out for today's hockey therapy. I appreciate that, Dave. I appreciate that, bud. Trey says that's some Brendan Shanahan shit right there. Yeah. And JC, yeah, don't forget we chose Knight over Levi, right? Which that kind of looks like that might have been a good move, though. Vincent says sooner or later going to happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if the right deal came, if we could get two defensemen in a three-way trade, like for Knight and Sorda for Knight and like a 20, 30 first round pick. And we could get 2 defensemen, but you still need a backup goalie. That's the thing. Even if we said, all right, we still need a backup goalie. There's no way to do it without. I wouldn't want Zito's job right now. That's for sure. Trey says we still have Big Mac Guzda. So trade him. I mean, he's not ready to be. I mean, at least Spencer Knight's been in the NHL, and we know he can do well in the playoffs. I don't know. Right, and don't forget defensemen take longer to develop than forwards. Vince says, what if we sent Ekblad to Utah for Stenlin and D and cap space for further moves? Okay. Who do they have? Nick says, I heard Trouba wants to come here, huh? But what's Trouba's style? I remember when we played him last year, I wasn't impressed. Frank, I believe it's Spencer tonight. I think Bob was supposed to be out for the 2 nights. So I would assume it's going to be Spencer, right? Kachucking around says, we ain't trading Ekblad for someone we used to have. Dave says, Stolars is a Leaf. Come on. Come on, Dave. Jersey and Kesserling. Meadow says Trouba is just dirty Ekblad. No, we don't want nothing to do with that then, right? Knight is in. Okay. Vincent says Belinskas is fine as a number 6-7 to win the cup. I mean, I don't know, man. Seven, yes. But I would really rather have Kulikov Schmidt be the bottom pair and Mikkola Nugai be the second pair and have Belinskas be 7 based on how he's been playing recently. Right, and Ekblad's been playing better. Silva says Trouba style is a traffic cone, but he's more of a penalty suspension risk than one guy you keep complaining about. Hey, I see that, Dave. OEL is a Leaf with no take back clause. Come on. Come on. Damn it. Well, we did win the cup. Hey, we won the cup, right? Oh, that's okay, Loogie. It's all right. I miss my own days too sometimes. At least we got the cup. I mean, it's not easy to figure this out, having been to 2 cups in a row, right? Meadow says maybe Ekblad with Mikkola and a new guy for Forsling. Okay. Huh. Who gets to be the offensive guy in that? In Ekblad, Mikkola, you're making Mikkola stay back. I like Mikkola as the offensive guy. You make Ekblad stay back. Trey says we won a cup with Ekblad getting apples for the other team and Montour getting his talent zapped like he's in Space Jam. We'll be all right. Man, I don't know. We'll think. Silva says, Jaws, think of former Panthers this way. There's a reason why Zito moved on from them. We probably won't bring them back. I like Stenlin. Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Frank. He says, not a fan of Trouba. He makes a lot of costly mistakes, but can you imagine going up against Bennett, Kachuk, Trouba, Train, and the other man? That's a good point. Now, that's a good point. Right? That's a good point. You put Bennett, Chuck, Rodriguez, Mikkola, and Trouba out there at the same time. I mean, want to have some fun, right? JC says, trade Bennett and Eki for Crosby and Ludwig. Is Ludwig playing well for them? I didn't hear his name the other night. Yeah, no, Green. It took 30 years of your life. Yeah, and 40 years to get our own, right? Metal says, gives him a chance to be more offensive. I think some of us thought Mikola would be more like a big Monty this season. I mean, he does look like he wants to be offensive in spurts. There's no doubt about that. Whether or not we would move Ekblad down, I don't know. I don't know that Maurice would do that. And if you're going to do it, we're going to do it soon. You want, if you're going to get Forsling a new partner, you would want him to have enough time to develop some serious chemistry, with the guy before the playoffs start, right? Yeah, Frank. Yeah, Ludwig knocked himself out. I know, right? Yep. All right, oh, wait. Hey, thank you, Adonis. Thank you, Adonis. Thanks for your brother 1 week till break. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Thank you, brother. All right, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for today. And I think the game starts at 7. Yeah, Vincent says Stenlin and Lawrence. I'd take that guy over anybody on our fourth line. Right. Yeah, I am. I'm there with you. But we're still the champs. Until we are not the champs, we're still the champs. That's how we'll look at it. All right, everybody. I'll see you tonight. Kyle will be live for you at 6:45. Game starts at 7, right? Yeah, we're facing the white. Oh, my God, Adonis. And I'm out.